comes up in your mind is disappointment and everybody is not feeling great. But I think then a few seconds after that and the next day it feels a little bit better, and then pride kicks in. I mean, for the way Alistair and the whole team and the players really, from having disastrous Super 14 at the end, trying to shift the focus to the Currie Cup, and then these guys taking it on, eventually playing against I think one of the best teams in the world and coming so close. Then you pride again, and then sometimes you get your downs again and you think, shiver, it was so close. So yeah, it's very satisfying. So there's done so many different management things that I believe this team is growing and growing and growing. Not just the result of losing the semi-final, but again, being 12-0 behind against the Bull. Normally, I mean, I've watched Brown's teams who lost 75-12 or 20 against teams like the Bulls, and it could so easily have happened again, but the guys fought back and they kept structure, and Alistair kept calm and had a good plan at half time, and the guys came out in the second half. So definitely I think we're on the up. And all three teams, the under 19s lost of a point. Everybody knows the under 21s drew, and there was extra time, and we were ahead, the top team with 3 minutes to go. So unfortunately there's nobody in the final, but shiver, I think there's growth. You're 100% right, and I think that's maybe, apart from the penalty, 7 penalties or 6 penalties we gave away, and Mornestein long distance penalty, I think their cool edge, that first 20 minutes we were really frantic, running around, they getting yellow cards, we playing dumb rugby, and somewhere Alistair got them to settle down. I think if we get more of our players in more of those positions, I mean, those guys, it's an old cliche, but they've done it in the World Cup, they've done it against the Lions and all the other things they've reached before, and Mornestein has done it before. So I think if we can do that, it will be good for us. But what's wonderful, I mean, if you look at a guy like Hugh Oplon, where he's been there for a few seasons now. Wow, he handled the big occasion, and that's where we're striving towards, is keeping these guys together. And again, we're only bringing 3 new signings into this team. It's only Lionel Cronje and Brian Abana and hopefully Jacques Fourie, now that we can actually talk to him and get him into the mix and finalize the contract. That there's really, I think, continuity. There's not a lot of new guys. I mean, that should be good.
Sorry, on that, you're not looking at recruiting anymore than those 3. Is that a done?
No, I think this team, if a team like this, if you show against a team that won the Super 14 final with 60 odd points, I think then you're pretty close to having a team that can be competitive. If you throw into the mix of the guys that played this weekend, and the 3 names I mentioned now, in Brian and Jacques and Lionel Cronje, and you throw in Fonsie and you throw Adra Fonse and Nick Koster and Conrad Jantjies and Dylan Desfountain and Morgan Newman and Willem de Waal and all those boys, then it should be really competitive. Not just on the field in Cape Town. I mean, I'm the first one to admit that I've made a few mistakes on a lot of mistakes in certain aspects of the game, and I surely learned a lot from Alistair this year, and the way I think his man management of players is excellent. Maybe because he's 10 years older than me, I'm not sure. But yes, and I think the way I've started to understand the whole Cape Town vibe, it takes you a while to not just understand you guys here in the press conference, but the normal fan on the street and the players and so on. And with that, I think that's the growth for me personally I've made the most. If you talk about the team and going into the 3rd year, I think we've really had to make a few interesting moves to get to the management teams and players where we now. We had to do a few funny things, get in a guy like Johan van Wyk only for a short term, and a guy like Jacques Hannekom, because we eventually wanted Matthew Prideford, and it took us a year and a half to get him, but we've got him now here, and he's doing a wonderful job. Getting Alistair in the beginning, getting him into a position where he manages players the way he manages them now. It took some fine planning and a few knocks and putting the egos back, but I really think we're going into a 3rd year fairly close to where I wanted us to go, into a 3rd year with momentum and experienced players and confident team.
Do you think